Overwhelmed when it comes to the huge choice of WordPress plugins? Watch my video as I take you through my top 5. For the best blog tech advice, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I publish a new video every Monday. If you haven't got a clue when it comes to WordPress plugins, don't worry, you're not alone. By the end of this video, you'll know which are my top 5 must-have WordPress plugins for mum bloggers. I recommend that all my clients install these on their blogs, and those that do have no complaint. So my number 1 must-have plugin for WordPress is Yoast. For most bloggers, we blog so that we can get our content found. And the easiest way to get your content found is via Google and search engine optimization. Now, Yoast is so helpful when it comes to search engine optimization. And I'm going to give you a quick intro to it now. I'm here on the Yoast general settings page. I'm going to click on features, and these are all the different features that you can get from the free version of Yoast. There is a premium version, but in my view, you don't really need it. The free version does a pretty good job. As you can see, it does SEO analysis, and you can also get it to generate XML sitemaps, which is a really useful tool, but I'm not going to go into that today. So how does this work when you're writing your blog posts? So I'm going to add a new blog post, and I'm going to call it the best WordPress plugins for 2018. I'm going to save that draft. You'll notice up here in this top right hand corner the readability and SEO scores. They go from red, amber and green as the score improves. Currently there's no available score for SEO, so we're going to scroll down below the text editor for the post, and you'll see this big Yoast SEO box. So here we're going to enter our focus keyword, which is going to be best WordPress plugins. Click off that, save the draft again, and you'll see here the SEO score has now gone from grey, which meant that there were no keywords set, to red, so it needs improvement. So I'm going to scroll back down here again and check out this analysis of the SEO for this blog post. So Yoast has picked up that there's no focus keyword in the first paragraph of the copy. Well, that's because there's no copy. There's no meta description which has been specified. The meta description is this bit here, and this is the snippets of text that will show when your page is found in Google search results. So ideally you want to make sure you get your keywords in there as well. Text contains no words. Obviously, written the post yet. You can see Yoast recommends a minimum of 300 words. Personally, I don't tend to write blog posts below 800 words, but that's personal preference. It then identifies some improvements and the good results. So if you write a blog post that satisfies all these points that Yoast has raised, then you should be pretty good to go where it comes to search engine optimization. Next on the list, we've got Akizmet, which is an anti-spam filter. Here you can see just how many spam comments it's blocked from my site, since it started in March. So, that's 435 blocked. It's one of those plugins that just works in the background, and you almost forget it's there. It's brilliant. So I'm going to pop over to my comments now and click on spam. You can see that there are 21 spam comments waiting for me to either delete or filter. It just saves me so much time, so I don't have to actually manually go through every comment left on my blog. Akizmet just whacks it in here, and I come in and empty it from time to time. So I'm going to select this checkbox at the top here, which selects them all, and just click empty spam. It's literally that simple, and that's why it's up there as one of my top free WordPress plugins for 2018. If you like the sound of these plugins, comment below with loving it. So next on the list is W3 Total Cache. In my view, every WordPress blog needs a caching plugin. If you're not familiar with caching, it's basically where your browser stores a copy of the files that it needs to display your web page for the next time it loads. So the first time it loads, it takes a little bit longer because it's downloading the files that it needs, but the next time it loads, it already has those files, so it doesn't need to download them again, which makes the page load a lot quicker. So I'm just going to run you through quickly how I have my settings set up for W3 Total Cache. So you can see here, I enable the page cache. I don't use W3 Total Cache for minification because I have another plugin that does that. And I also have the database cache enabled, as well as the object cache and the browser cache. So that's it, W3 Total Cache. So this is one of my absolute favourite WordPress plugins ever. Regular viewers or readers of the Blog Genie will know how much I bang on about backing up your blog. In my view, it's the #1 way to keep your blog secure. And this is an amazing plugin that helps you make sure that your blog is backed up as much as it needs to be. Here is the Updraft Plus dashboard. And you can see if I wanted to, I could back up right now. I could restore a backup, or I could clone or migrate one. I'm not going to do any of those now. This is just showing you what you can do with it. I'm going to click onto existing backups, and I always keep my last 2 backups. And there you can see that I had a backup run 9:20 last night and 9:10 the night before. I can view the log if I want. I can choose to restore either of these backups right now. I want to show you the settings. So here is where you decide how often you want Updraft Plus to back up your blog. There are 2 versions of the backup. There's the files backup and the database. Personally, I always back them both up at the same time so that neither one gets out of sync with the other. So here you can see that I schedule a backup daily, and I always retain 2 scheduled backups. And you come down here, you'll see that I back up my database. You'll see that I back up my blog using Google Drive. I like to have my backup somewhere handy, and generally, you know, your blog's going to get to a point where it'll be too big to attach the backup file to email, so I wouldn't even consider doing it that way. But you can see that you can back up to your Dropbox, Amazon, Microsoft Azure. You've got loads of options there of places that you can store your backup. And that's it for Updraft Plus. My last essential WordPress plugin is all-in-one WP security. Every WordPress blog needs a decent security plugin. And for me, all-in-one WP security is one of the best. WordPress automatically adds some information inside the head tags of every page on your site. So what this does is it takes that information away from there, which makes it a little bit more difficult for hackers or crawlers to see what version of WordPress you're on and whether or not it's one with a known exploit. So now I'm going to go to user accounts. And what this does is it checks to make sure that your site doesn't have the default admin username. It's well known that WordPress used to create default accounts with the username admin, and if it's common knowledge, then hackers will know, and it helps them if they want to stage a brute force attack on your site. If they've got your username, it means that they only need to find your password to get into your site. It looks at your display name. This is something I am a little bit guilty of on this site, and I need to sort it out. And what it does is it's checked to see if my login name and display name match, which they actually do for this site. When your login name and your display name match, it gives hackers half of your credentials. Again, they only need to find your password to get into your site. So it is bad practice for your login name and display name to be the same thing. So this is a password strength tool that comes with all-in-one WP security. So you could start typing a password in here. Just to test it out, I'm going to type in password, which we all know is a really bad password to use. It will tell you how long it takes a desktop PC to crack that password. And if you start adding some special characters in there, you can see that the password gets stronger. It's a really handy little tool. When you create new user accounts using WordPress, it does generate some very strong passwords for you. So I'm now going to move on to user login. And see again, it gives you this score out of 20, so 20 would be the best that it can be. This is a brand new install on my demo site, so I've not done anything yet. As you go through, you can set the number of login attempts. If you want to enable login lockdown, if anyone tries to log in 3 times within 5 minutes, they will be locked out for an hour. If you want to show generic error message, you can check this box. You can instantly lock out invalid usernames. During a brute force attack, some hackers would try lots of different usernames on your site, and if you check this box, all-in-one WP security will instantly lock out any username that doesn't exist on your system. And you can use this box to specify particular usernames that you want locked out of your system too. And you can also check this box down here to be notified by email if anyone is locked out of your site. See, now I've set all that up, I've got 20 out of 20. And you can also lock out certain IP address ranges, or you can whitelist certain IP addresses too. Right, so I'm now going to user registration. Checking this box means that all newly registered accounts will be disabled until I have approved them manually, which I like. So I'm going to save that. I've now got 20 out of 20. You can now add captures to your registration forms. So if you want to insert a capture, what this does as well is this will put a special hidden field on the page that only robots will see. If a robot is trying to create an account on your site, it will automatically just fill in every field it finds. And so this basically says if that field is filled in, don't let them create the account. Database security. As with all major changes, and especially making database specific changes on your site, always take a backup first. I know you probably get bored of hearing me saying it, but literally backup before you do anything to your site. As you can see, the prefix has already been changed, but I will go and change it after I've recorded this video. Because again, if your database tables have the default prefix, then it gives hackers a leg up in trying to hack your database. I click this tab up here, DB Backup. I do have another backup plugin at the moment, so I'm not going to set this up right now. File system security. So basically, this looks at all files that I have on my site, on my host, and it looks at all the different permissions. And they're all green at the moment, so it's all good. It's quite happy with my file permissions. If I go into PHP file editing tab, WP file access. So this allows you to prevent access to files like your README, license, and your WP config sample, which are all part of the default WordPress installation. And this again will help you hide key information like WordPress version info from hackers. So again, this is the blacklist manager. So this gives you the option of banning certain IP addresses from your site. And this was a feature that I used quite recently on my Raising a Ragamuffin site, which was under a brute force attack from a range of IP addresses. So I came in here, entered the IP addresses, and it now blocks them. Firewall. So we all want basic firewall protection. Block access to debug log files. Save that. So this is a handy little feature which means that you can rename your login page. So at the moment you would go to your URL /wp-admin or wp-login and it would take you to your login page. Again, that gives hackers a leg up because they know exactly which page they need to go to try and brute force your blog. But if you change the name of file from wp-admin or wp-login to something really random, then that's an extra layer that hackers have got to work out before they can actually start trying to log in to your site. So there's an alternative way of preventing brute force attacks as well, is cookie based. You'd have a secret word and a URL that you would redirect a hacker to when they try and access your login page. You can add a capture on your login page. So on all your login pages, on your WooCommerce pages, and your lost password form to stop any bots trying to log into your site. Login whitelist option as well, which is another alternative brute force attack prevention method. So what this does is it just gives WordPress a list of IP addresses that can log into your WordPress site. And if an IP address that doesn't match an IP address on this whitelist tries to log into your site, they just won't be allowed. Now you can enable copy protection. So This means that people won't be able to right click and copy anything from your site. Not normally a bad thing. This allows you to stop other sites displaying your content within a special frame. This stops external users and bots fetching user info with this feature stops unauthorized people finding user info with URLs like author equals 1 at the end. This one I would say use with caution because it might have an effect on some of your other plugins. So as a rule, I would say you probably want this left unchecked. That's all there is to the all-in-one WP security plugin.
So now you know about plugins, but what about making sure your images are optimized for your blog? I've written a post all about how to make sure your images are the optimal size for your blog. If you want to join a community of women just like you, join my Facebook group where I help bloggers just like you with their blog tech problems. If you like this video, please let me know by liking it below, subscribe and share it with your fellow bloggers. And comment below with helpful if this video helped you.